Namaskar, good afternoon, and a very warm welcome to today's weekly briefing. Today is a day of announcements. Actually, I have 5 to make. The first, and I'll keep it short, the first will be on the visit of Prime Minister of Sri Lanka to India. I have another one on the SCO summit, which is attended by our External Affairs Minister. And I have a short readouts on the visits of foreign ministers of Finland, Greece, and Denmark. So I'll start with the first one. The first is the visit of Prime Minister of Sri Lanka to India, who is already in town with 23rd November, which is today, as the main day of engagement. He is accompanied by his wife, Professor Maitri Vikramasinghe, Minister of Law and Order and Southern Development, and a few officials. Our Prime Minister hosted a luncheon meeting for the Sri Lankan Prime Minister at Hyderabad House today. Prime Minister of Sri Lanka will be calling on the Honorable President of India later today afternoon. During the luncheon meeting with the Prime Minister, the two sides discussed the entire gamut of bilateral relations and ways to further deepen the historically close and friendly relations between the two countries. Prime Minister of Sri Lanka will return to Colombo on 24th November. The second is on EM's participation at the SCO summit. EM will be representing the Government of India at the SCO summit in Sochi on 30th November and 1st December. She will arrive in the evening of 29th November. On 30th November, EM will have bilateral meetings and attend the reception hosted by the Russian Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev. On 1st December, EM will attend the restricted meeting of the heads of delegation, which will be followed by the preliminary session. On the same evening, EM will again attend a reception hosted by the Russian Prime Minister for all members of the delegation. She would depart Sochi on 2nd December and will arrive in Delhi on the same day. India joined as a full-fledged member of the SCO in June this year. We attach special significance to SCO in promoting political, economic, and people-to-people interaction in the region. The third announcement is on the visit of the Foreign Minister of Finland, Mr. Timo Soini. He is already in India on an official visit from 22nd to 25th November. He participated earlier today at the Global Conference on Cybersecurity. He will have a meeting with EAM tomorrow, during which, as expected, the entire range of bilateral issues will come up for discussion. The fourth is on the visit of the Foreign Minister of Greece, who will be visiting India from 25th to 28th November on an official visit. He is going to meet EAM on 27th November. The Foreign Minister of Greece will also deliver a talk at the Observer Research Foundation. The other elements of the program are still being finalized. And the fifth and the last one is on the visit of the Foreign Minister of Denmark, who will be in India from 26th to 29th November. He will be participating at the Global Entrepreneurship Summit, which is being held in Hyderabad on 28th and 29th November. He is going to meet EAM on 27th November. So with this, I come to the end of my announcements. Now the floor is open to questions. Vinita?
Ravish, you mentioned about SCO. There is a Russia, India, China also likely to happen. Can you just give us some dates about it? And also, what will be the focus area for the talks this time?
You see, at this stage, I can only confirm that the foreign ministers of India, China, and Russia will meet in New Delhi on 11th December. We are still working out the program for this meeting, which will be shared with all of you closer to the date. Geeta?
Your reaction to the decision by a court in Pakistan to release Hafiz Saeed, that his detention was not extended. The Pakistani government had said that he still is a threat to Pakistan, but did not really provide any evidences, including evidences provided by India, to the court.
Any other question on Hafiz Saeed?
सर, आतंकवाद को लेकर अमेरिका की जो चिंता है वो हक्कानी नेटवर्क और लश्कर तैयबा के लिए भी है, ऐसा हम मानकर चलते थे। लेकिन क्या हाल के दिनों में जो एक बदलाव आया और अमेरिका हक्कानी नेटवर्क की गतिविधियों को लेकर ज़्यादा चिंता में रहा, लश्कर तैयबा की गतिविधियों को लेकर नहीं, क्या आप मानते हैं कि ये एक वजह हो सकती है कि हाफिज सईद आज नज़रबंद नहीं है?
Any other question? Ramesh?
Thank you. On the same issue, recently we saw the US designating North Korea as a state sponsor of terrorism. From India's perspective, does it think that Pakistan too deserves or is a fit case from declared a state sponsor of terrorism?
No, it is not a related question. I said any other question on Hafiz Saeed. Aditya?
Again, on similar grounds, the State Department has told us that they have noted the release of global terrorist Hafiz Saeed, and US has already given a last warning to Pakistan, a last opportunity. Do you think that perhaps bilaterally to the US it needs to be communicated much more that we need to move ahead of the terror designations, and much more needs to be done to let Pakistan know that enough is enough?
Let me first read out the statement which I have on the release of Hafiz Saeed. We have seen reports on the release of the leader of banned terrorist organization, Lashkar-e-Toiba, and internationally proscribed terrorist Hafiz Saeed from house arrest by Pakistan. As you are aware, he was the prime organizer. He was not only the mastermind, he was the prime organizer of the Mumbai terror attacks, in which many innocent Indians and many people from other nationalities, they were killed. He is also responsible for unleashing numerous other terror attacks against Pakistan's neighbors. His release confirms once again the lack of seriousness on the part of Pakistani government in bringing to justice perpetrators of heinous act of terrorism, including by individuals and entities designated by the United Nations. It also appears to be an attempt by the Pakistani system to mainstream proscribed terrorists. It is evident that Pakistan has not changed its policy of shielding and supporting non-state actors, and its true face is visible for all to see. It is the responsibility of Pakistani government to fulfill its international obligations and take credible and effective action against terrorists like Hafiz Saeed. India, as indeed the entire international community, is outraged that a self-confessed and a UN-proscribed terrorist is being allowed to walk free and continue with his evil agenda. Now coming to the two questions which are, I think, related. You see, we have in our discussions with the US government at different levels, including at the level of the foreign minister at the highest level as well, we have had very productive discussions on fighting the scourge and menace of terrorism. I do not agree with your assessment that there is a bit of softness by the US side on certain entities. I think we are trying to work together with them. We have worked with them. And if you have seen the statements emanating from the US administration in the past, I think it is very clear that we are on the same page as far as fighting terrorism is concerned. Smita? Manish, after that.
Ravish, given what the Prime Minister had to say about Balochistan from the ramparts of the Red Fort, Is there any possibility or clarity whether Brahmadak Bhukti will be given political asylum by India? Just a clarification, if technically, did he actually make an application after the press conference some time back, or was that only a verbal thing? And I know Sushma Swaraj's schedule, you'll say, is being tied up, but is there any possibility of a bilateral with the Pakistani foreign minister along the SCO sidelines?
Smita, to answer your first question, I am not aware of any such application which has been made by the gentleman which you mentioned, so I can't answer the first part of your question. Actually, this time you will have to believe me that the schedule of the External Affairs Minister is still being tied up. Normally, maybe a day or two before the actual meeting, we will be announcing the agenda and the program of the External Affairs Minister with this audience. I said that I am not aware about any application which has been made. You see, at this stage, I can't say because, we don't even know, how the agenda looks like. It's a very tight program in any case. Manish?
Ravish, you spoke about some bilateral meetings on the sidelines of the SCO summit. Premier Li Keqiang would be representing China probably at the summit. Can we expect a meeting, a call-on meeting? That's my first question. My second question is, are we going to highlight the Hafiz Saeed issue and Pakistan's role continuing sponsorship of terror at the SCO summit? Would that be a major issue?
Manish, to the first question, again, the answer will be the same which I have just given. EAM's program is being tied up, and at this stage, I am not aware about the bilateral meetings which are being fixed, so I can't really answer that question. And the other part of the question is even more speculative, what we are going to discuss. I can tell you that on issues of terrorism and on the issues of terrorist leaders like Hafiz Saeed, we do work together with like-minded countries. We have similar views, and on different platforms with different countries, we do discuss, the case of fighting terrorism. Just one sec. Sinjoy.
Sir, this relates to Kulbhushan Jadhav. Pakistan says that there is an invitation for his wife, but has India accepted that? Has India said that if you're going to if the wife has to go, then the mother also should go? Where do we exactly stand on it? What other points have we raised vis-a-vis this?
Thank you, Srinjoy. Any other question on Sridhar? Pranay?
Sir, can you spell out the specifics of your proposal to Pakistan? What exactly did you suggest on Jadhav? And there have been some reports that you have also given the go-ahead for the wife to visit.
Okay.
So my main question is the specifics of the proposal. Thanks.
Pranay and then Maha.
Almost the same thing, but just a small clarification in the same question, that besides this proposal, have we in principle accepted their proposal, or we are still waiting for their response and then we will take a final call on that?
Maha?
So if a decision has been made to send Kulbhushan Jadhav's wife to meet him, has any date been decided, and will Indian officials be accompanying her?
I am very happy that I may have answered to all the questions which you have. Any other question on Kulbhushan?
Any clarity on who and where the wife is, because there were mixed reports about.
Okay. You are aware that there was a long-standing request from the mother of Mr. Kulbhushan Jadhav to visit Pakistan and meet her son. Although this request was pending, India still responded positively to the offer made by Pakistan to arrange meeting of Mr. Kulbhushan Jadhav with his wife. In our response, we have conveyed that the wife of Mr. Jadhav would like to travel along with her mother-in-law for the meeting. We have also sought sovereign guarantee from the government of Pakistan to ensure the safety, security, and well-being of the wife and the mother of Mr. Jadhav. And during their stay in Pakistan, they shall not be questioned, harassed, or interrogated while they are there. We have further asked that a diplomat from our High Commission in Pakistan, in Islamabad, shall be allowed to accompany them at all times, including during the meeting which the wife and the mother will have with Mr. Kulbhushan Jadhav. Let me also underline that such a meeting offer does not absolve Pakistan of the violations of the Vienna Convention on Consular Relations and Human Rights, and not following the due process in treating Mr. Jadhav, who remains incarcerated in Pakistan and faces death sentence through a farcical process and on concocted charges. While the government hopes that Pakistan would facilitate visit by the wife and the mother of Mr. Jadhav, we are determined to pursue all measures with full vigor so as to secure the final release of an innocent Indian who was jailed in Pakistan. Akhilesh ji.
This is related to Sri Lanka. Prime Minister and Sri Lankan Prime Minister met today. Can you share with us what transpired, something specific, something on airport?
Related question?
Was there any talk about the trade and security cooperation and the fishermen issues on today's meeting?
You see, I can only share with you that all bilateral issues were discussed. India is an important partner of Sri Lanka. We have a lot of developmental projects which are going on in Sri Lanka. And the discussions basically focused mainly on the bilateral relations, how to strengthen it further. And beyond that, actually, I can't share in this forum. Thank you. Sridhar, you need a mic, but you can't ask any question. Okay.
I had sought the specifics of the proposal which you read out a statement on. And we also read reports from Pakistan that the Indian proposal is being considered. So have they taken a decision and got back to you on that?
At this stage, we are still waiting for a response from the Pakistani side. So I think we got a note verbal from the Pakistani side. We responded to that note verbal, and now we await their response to our response. Just hold on. Mic, please.
Could you give us the date on which we responded?
The exact date was, I think it was maybe 3-4 days back. 3-4 days back. I mean, I'm not very sure. I can get back to you, but I think it was in the last 3 to 4 days. Ranjit ji.
Sri Lanka has also offered India to develop Trincomalee port. So what is the progress on that?
You know, I mean, if you want to ask me if this was discussed during the meeting, I will again tell you that all relevant issues, including India's developmental projects in Sri Lanka, both ongoing and the ones which we are going to take up, were discussed in the meeting, and that is where I would leave it at this stage. As I said, that it's a very important project, you see, and I will have to get the details from the concerned division, and I can share that with you at a later stage. Just hold on, just hold on. Anybody else? Akhilesh ji, inko dijiye.
We were asking about the airport, any development on the airport, or any conclusive thing that could be.
It is the same question and which I have answered.
Just a short while ago, there was a deal between Bangladesh and Myanmar on returning of lots of Rohingya Muslims. Your reaction to it, and of course this deal coming after China giving an offer, a 3-plan offer to both the countries. So your reaction to this?
See, you have the advantage of checking the news while I am sitting here. So it is very difficult for me to get this, give you an immediate reaction to what is happening. In any case, I feel that this is something which has happened between Bangladesh and Myanmar. Our position on the displaced persons I have articulated several times from this forum, and that needs no further reiteration. But since I have not seen what you're talking about, I think it is very difficult for me to respond to this. Just hold on.
Next week, Pope Francis is visiting both Myanmar and Bangladesh. Was there any invitation from India for a visit?
You see, you are aware that for any bilateral visits to take place, any exchange of high-level visits, one is, of course, it is an integral part of any country's diplomacy. It is also an integral part of India's diplomatic initiative. You would also be aware that before finalizing any VVIP visit, there is a proper mechanism which has to be followed. It also includes dates which are mutually convenient to the two sides. India's link to Christianity and with Christianity is nearly 2,000 years old. Indian Christians have contributed immensely to India's growth and prosperity. We are proud that there are a large number of Indians serving in various Roman Catholic orders. Relations between India and the Holy See have always been cordial and strengthened over the years. If there are no other questions, then I will give the last question to Sridhar.
So when are you going to come out with the details on the visit of Ivanka Trump to Hyderabad? Our PM is also attending that meeting. So can we have some details on that, sir?
You are talking about the Global Entrepreneur Summit?
Correct.
You see, this entire summit is being coordinated by Niti Aayog and together in partnership with the government of the United States. And this will be the 8th annual Global Entrepreneurship Summit, which is being held in Hyderabad on 28th till 30th November. The summit will bring together investors, educators, government officials, and startup ecosystem supporters to the world's most important event on entrepreneurship. The summit will present a unique opportunity to connect and establish meaningful partnerships amongst entrepreneurs, investors, and ecosystem supporters. The summit will be addressed by the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Ms. Ivanka Trump, advisor to President Trump, and many more luminaries from the world of innovation and entrepreneurship. The program for Ms. Ivanka Trump is still being finalized and will be shared by the organizers closer to the date. If there are no further questions, Manish.
Is any update on French President's visit to India? It was to take place in December. It looks like it's been postponed. When is it expected?
I do not have the exact dates for the visit. I think at some stage we had announced that this is being rescheduled in early 2018. We do not yet have the dates for the visit. As and when the dates are finalized, we will make an announcement. Thank you very much all for attending. Have a good day.